playing some quick tests. I'm about to play a 50 hertz dB, 0 dB tone right now. We're not clipping it, so trying to get the voltage that this will play out. So let me put this. Get like about 3.75 volts. I mean, it's not bad. Make sure that it's also not clipping. Any point higher than this would clip it. There we go, nice wave. That's what we're getting. Obviously, you get higher voltage, but you're gonna be clipping. So anything over 4 volts clips on this DSP amplifier. I'm gonna do a little bit more testing, try to get the RMS wattage and go from there. Alright, so I swapped my leads to my voltmeter right here. Try to get the voltage really quick for AC. So we're playing at the same volume, not clipping. Obviously I disconnected the oscilloscope, so I just kept everything the same. So we're gonna see right now if it clips or not. I mean, what the wattage is at on non-clipping level. Let me rewind this. Boom. So we're getting about 8.62 is the max we see. So we're gonna keep that number. 8.63. So 8.63. And then I'm gonna disconnect these. Give me a second. This to amps, and we're gonna try to clamp this. Playing at the same volume, nothing's changed again. So 1.6 amps is the highest I'm getting. Math on that really quick. Sorry about that, I accidentally paused the video. But we had let's do some math. Let me see. We had 1.60 times 8.63, I think was the best we were getting. So that's about 14 watts per channel. I think that's what you're gonna be getting on this. It's not bad. I mean, I have all this connected, so I could kind of play a track right now. Give you guys a little. I mean, for factory, if you're strictly switching out the factory using the 8 channels on this DSP, you should be more than happy with the sound. Let me play some music. Alright, coming back, I had to cut the other video. Call came in, so I'm gonna have to edit. I didn't want to have to edit, but anyways, getting back to this, I wanted to play a sample for you guys. So you guys could hear the system. Well, not the system, obviously, just the speaker setup that I have here. And everything's gonna be running off the DSP amplifier, so keep that in mind. So we did the testing. I mean, all that's in the earlier video. I actually ran some errands, so it's about 2 hours. That was 2 hours ago. So now we're back. I also want to excuse myself, use the time that I have on this video. I have like congestion, so you could hear it. And I always excuse my breathing because I'm a heavy breather. So if you hear me breathing, I know that's annoying to some people. But anyways, also, because I'm very critical here, I've gotten comments in other videos. Bass, bass, you know, to me is the same. I understand the concept. We're talking about sound here, so I'm not gonna say that bass and think that, oh, you're talking about a fish, you know. So that, and so let's get into it. I just kind of wanted to give you guys a sample, so let me play something non-copyrighted here really quick. turn up the volume. I forgot I have some of the channels off for the testing. Mid bass or woofer right there. Mid range. High. Twitter. Let's get forward a little bit, get a different beat going. Let's see how. So that's full volume, just so you get an idea of how loud it is. I could hardly hear myself talk over. Alright, so that was a bit of the audio test of what I set up here. I mean, it sounds good. Keep in mind, I mean, it's only getting 14 watts per channel out of that DSP amp, so it's not a lot of watts, you know. For the bass or your woofer, whatever you want to call this, I usually call this the mid bass because it doesn't really play lows. I would call that the bass. But for this, I would use external amps. That's my plan with these. I'm gonna use an external 4-channel amp and power these in the rear door speakers off of external amp. And I'm probably gonna run these actively on the DSP on their own channel, powered off the DSP. I think 14 watts should be more than enough for these speakers. I mean, I doubt this speaker would take 25 watts, to be honest with you. I don't care what they say on the box, you know, it could handle 200 or 300 watts. I mean, it's all bullshit if you really think about it. I mean, that frequency range that is recommended for these is super high. It's 500. I think it's over 500 hertz. So getting any high voltage on a 500 hertz note, you're not gonna get a lot of watts, you know, out of it. So, I mean, is your idea to, you know, believe that you are gonna get that much watts out of this little speaker or that tweeter? That tweeter's probably seeing 5-10 watts, you know. But that should be more than enough with this amplifier. So from the DSP, talking about the DSP, I know I haven't really mentioned it. Kind of just went into the video earlier, just talking about the testing. But I wanted to put this online, you know, so you guys will have other information on this DSP. I bought it from AliExpress. It's very generic DSP, coaxial, optical out. It didn't come with a remote. You know, some will come with like the auxiliary. You can change some of your settings, or you know, if you have presets saved on the DSP, you can change to them. This one didn't come with one, so whatever, you know. It has 10 outputs right here, so it's, I think it goes from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then this is your auxiliary. Auxiliary, I believe, is like, well, I mean, if you want to plug in like your aux to your cable to your headphone jack on your phone or something, you could use this, of course. But so you have a head unit, aftermarket head unit, and you wanted to use this, I would just get your full range signal in here, and then you could edit and disperse it how you want it on the DSP, you know, distribute it to what output and set the bandpass or whatever on each speaker as you want, you know. Ideally, you would want to have 6 of those. That way you could have your front, rear, left, right, you know, and when you're trying to fade it with your radio, and obviously your subwoofer control. If you have aftermarket, even if you have factory, I mean, uh, you're able to get more flexibility in controlling things, you know. Obviously, this is a budget-friendly DSP. So far, it sounds great, you know. I mean, I don't know how it compares to the name brands right here in America, but I mean, let's be honest, a lot of them get engineered and built in China, so you know, probably they could figure out to build something half decent at a much lower price point, you know. Obviously, that's your discretion. I'm not saying this is like Audison or anything, you know, that kind of quality, but it's decent from what I hear right here, you know. From my opinion, it'll do fine for most, even for a factory system. I mean, this is great for just somebody that's trying to get some more volume off their factory system. Plug it into your high level. It has actually line outputs too. So if you don't want to use RCA's, you get 8 lines of output here. And then if you want to use just 9 and 10 for your subwoofer later on, you'll have those 2 channels available as well for your subwoofer. But you can run up to 8 speakers in your car just off of these, using the 14 watts, obviously. Or you could use, like in my scenario, what I plan to do is use the first, probably use the first 1, 2 for front, right, front, left, you know. And then I'm going to use 3 and 4 for the rear speakers, full range. I'm probably just going to run those in components. So I'll use the full range here and have the crossover, work that out. And then the rest I'm going to use the line output for running these actively, you know. So it's going to be another 4 channels there. And the last 2 for the subwoofer, obviously. Well, not obviously, but you know, that's my plan. And I mean, it's flexibility. I will be using the coaxial in, because my radio does have the coaxial, so try to get a digital signal, see how well it does with that. That being said, I mean, I'm gonna tell you, I paid $168 for this. Think about it. I mean, the cheapest DSP you would get, probably like around $300, you know. I think it's a good deal. I mean, for what you're getting, for what I paid, I mean, 168, and that's here to the door, you know. That's including shipping and everything. So it took about a month to get here. The only problem, and like I said, I mean, it's China made, so you know, you gotta buy it through AliExpress. I don't know how comfortable. I'm not saying to buy it. I'm just saying it's a good option, you know, if you guys are interested in something like this. But the only problem, it's been great. The material, the build quality is great. I mean, it's metal casing. It's heavy, and I opened it actually and looked at the internals, and it looks quality built, man. Like everything looks good. I can't complain. I'll see if I could edit some pictures in of the internals, but so far it looks like it's gonna be a good unit. We gotta try it. I do have not a Pioneer, Alpine, PXC 850S, I think. That's also a 12-channel DSP. I have somewhere in the closet. I ended up buying that one used a couple years ago. I want to say like 2 years ago, and I never got around to installing it in my car. You know, I have my kids and stuff, so kind of took a lot of my time away. But now that I got a little bit more flexibility, I'm thinking of running this in my truck first for a month, and then swapping it out with the PXC and see how it sounds. What's the difference in sound quality? You know, I've read online, and I mean that the DSP technology hasn't really changed. You know, the sound processing and all that, and even from like audio files, like if you start reading into that, it's pretty basic stuff. You know, so all these companies out here try to throw high numbers and shit to try to get you impressed to buy their shit, that it's better than the China made shit. But fucking ask them where they get their shit made. You know, they get all their stuff from China too. You know, obviously they have a little bit more input in design and maybe some of the fucking software capabilities, but I mean, this is all that I think changes, just the software. Most of the components internally, I mean, you get some higher grade ones, something that, you know, do 5.1 and stuff like that, but that's like if you really want to get fancy with some fucking surround sound in your car and shit and maybe watch movies. But for me, I just wanted it for the audio purposes, and I think this is gonna fit my purpose. And for 168 bucks, I mean, it gives me wiggle room for my budget on my build, you know, because when you start getting into all these components and all these parts and everything, like, you know, you're like for in my case, like almost $3,000 in, you know, like it gives you some flexibility of softening the blow somewhere. And this is a component I could upgrade later, you know, like I said. For me, it could be temporary, and if it lasts for me for a year, it was worth it, you know, even if it fucking gives out next year. I mean, it would suck, but I mean, at least it gave me a year and gave me that cushion to build up my money, you know, again, and not feel bad about spending like another $300 or $400 for something. I'm not gonna say better, but US built with more of a warranty backing. Because let's be honest, I don't know what the warranty is gonna be on this. Um, I'm pretty much out of luck now. It says 1 year, but you know, shipping back and all those other fees, you're probably gonna end up spending like another $50-$60 to get another replacement. You know, I know Audio Control offers 5-year warranties with their stuff, so I mean that's another option. You know, if you want that security that is not gonna fail, or you're gonna have somebody backing it up, you know, then you would want to get something with more backing, like name brand, that is gonna stand behind their product. But I mean, if you're on a budget, you don't have that money, hey, look at these. If you kind of know what you're doing, and you know how to use these programs, then go ahead and do it. You know, if you don't know what you're doing and you want to get this to get somebody to install it, I mean, that's where it gets a little tricky. Because I'm gonna go into the story about the software. So the purchasing experience and everything was great. Shipping, I mean, they estimated it. I think it was gonna get here sometime towards like March 19th. It got here like 2 weeks early, you know. That's great. It did take like 2 to 3 weeks to get here, so they overestimate the shipping, but everything was great. I got everything. I got the generic lines, because I know you could get vehicle specific lines. Say you have a factory radio, and they'll like harness it to work with your factory radio. For me, since I have an aftermarket, I just got the generic ones, and I'll just kind of splice out from there. But just giving you I'll link the description to in my description. I'll link the link to this where I bought this, and that way you guys can look at it. If you guys want to go and jump on it, you know, that's do it at your own, you know, do it with your own purchasing power. You know, like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to get. Make sure that this is what you want, because I'm doing it for 2 reasons. One, if it works out good, and you know it's a great product, and I can make it work how I want, and it does what I want. Hey, maybe I could turn around and flip this for $200. You know, get my money back, and then buy something, you know, name brand, or who knows, maybe I could start selling this. You know, whatever. But at the price point that these come in, and if they could do, I would say 75% of what my $600 DSP can do, then that's a win. You know. But now going back to the DSP software, I got everything. I got everything in the box except for the software. There was no link. The writing in the box was Chinese, so I had to get it translated, and it had nothing about software. So I had to contact the seller. There's a language barrier, obviously, so some of the messages you kind of decipher what they're trying to tell you. Also, the time difference is the big thing. I'm in California. I think I calculated it was like about a 15-hour time difference. So I was getting most of my replies at 7 to 9 o'clock at night, which means there was about anywhere from, I want to say, 10 to midday over there when they were replying to me. So that was majority of the times. There were some that came in earlier, like at 4 in the morning, you know. So that was, well, not earlier, but later. I mean, I guess you would say into the next day. But that would mean that it was like 7 at night over there. So I don't know what their business hours are, but they reply whenever they can, and it was mostly once a day. So the time difference gave me contact with them pretty much once a day. And then there was 2 occasions where they didn't even reply till 2 days, you know. So chatting with them, trying to get the software when the item came in was a hassle. And it came in, and a lot of people, I was, you know, you gotta know what you're getting into, and that's what I'm saying about it's not for everybody. You know, if you don't want to buy it or you don't want to hassle with it, because I had to talk with them and let them know, hey, you know what, everything came in, but the software's not in there, and they're like, oh, well, just send me your email and we'll send you the software. So that was, you know, I think I contacted them on Friday because I came here like on Thursday, but it was my son's birthday, so I didn't deal with it till Friday. And Friday I messaged them. They hit me up with that message about sending them an email. I sent it to them on Saturday. They didn't reply to me till Monday, saying that they would send it over, right? And I gave them my Gmail. I don't know where they would cost. Well, just you know, I'm just gonna go through it. So I gave them my email. They reply on Monday. They send it. I looked through my email. I looked through my spam. It was my Gmail, and I couldn't find it anywhere. You know, so I was like, it didn't come in. So I replied back on Monday. I didn't hear back from them till Wednesday, and by that time, I was already kind of getting, you know, edgy. Like, man, I really want to get this going and testing it out and see what it is. You know, what I bought for $168. So they hit me up Wednesday. They said, okay, we'll send it again. They sent it again, and sure enough, it didn't come in again. So now we're in Thursday, and because I contacted them immediately on Wednesday, saying like, hey, I still didn't get it. And I figured like, hey, maybe it's my email or something. My email sometimes acts stupid. I don't know. Maybe it's full. I need to fucking check my Google Cloud and shit. But I told them send it to my Yahoo. And now I forget now what day we're in, but it was the following day, and they sent it to my Yahoo, and then I finally got it. You know, I think this was Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was like one of the days that they replied like at 4 in the morning. And they sent it, and I got it, and then I'm excited, like hell yeah, like I got the software, right? And I go to download it. It's like a Chinese cloud, like a mega cloud or something like that, where you could download links, you know. So it said it was all in Chinese, so I went to try to click on it. It wasn't letting me, so I had to get the page translated. You know, if you have a Pixel phone, it's like a really cool feature. I know iPhone is trying to incorporate it, where you take a picture and then you use the lens feature and it translates it for you. And from the translation, it said the link was expired. So they had sent that link to somebody else, I guess in March, the beginning of March. But by the time I got it, it was already expired, you know? And I couldn't download it, so I contacted them again that day. They didn't reply Friday, they replied to me till Saturday. And they finally sent me another link, and I was finally able to download it. So keep in mind that whole process of, you know, if you have that patience to be, you know, dealing with it or not, you know. So I finally got the software. It was great. It works, you know. So if you do end up deciding to buy it from the link, and they're not sending you the software, and you buy the same one, mine is a 6 in, 10 out. I could send it to you, you know, from the same seller. I did get the software from another seller that was willing to sell it to me, that I seen something similar to this, but it was another store. He sent me one, but the setup, the name was the same, DSP Caramp, whatever, you know, but the setup was a little bit different, and I had a hard time with that one. It didn't recognize the thing, so I just stopped playing with it and decided to wait until I got this one, and then this one automatically recognized it. So, you know, maybe some of the programming by each seller is a little bit different, so you have to get it from the person that you actually bought the item. So if, like I said, if you buy it from the link that I'm on link, it's gonna be the one that I bought, and then I could forward you the link. You know, if you bought it and you want to kind of test it before you get it, before it gets there, and you want to play with the software, you know, I could get that over to you. Just message me on the video. But anyways, yeah. So that was one of the hardships, you know, and then figuring it out here. You know, it does. Sometimes it seems so simple, but I spent like, I want to say Saturday night, I started working on it like around 10, trying to play with it, set up all this stuff, and I couldn't get any audio out, and I was like wondering like what the hell was this doing, you know? It was like, this right here is your input, right? So this is your high 1, high 2, high 3, high 4, high 5, high 6, right? So the way I would look at it is, this is your front left, front right, rear left, rear right, and I would say this is your sub, right? In theory, obviously, it might be different. You can make it whatever you want. But let's using that scenario, if you have your input as high 1 and that's your left front, and you want this speaker output to be left front, you have to click here. And then if this is your right front and you want this speaker to be your right front, then this is high too. So you have to click here, and then it would. So when I first caught it, all these were clicked, you know, and then they were all like it already has some kind of programming from the manufacturer, I guess, or from the person that sold it to me. So everything was kind of linked, and I edited something, and then everything was like changing in different channels. So I ended up resetting it, and then all of these went blank, and I had none of them clicked. And I kid you not, you know, it's the simplest shit always. And I said that shit, and I and the funny thing is that I went to bed. You know, my wife was like, you know, what were you doing? I was like, I can't get fucking audio out that DSP, you know. And you start thinking like I bought this cheap shit, maybe it's not working, you know. But then I told her, and I swear to you that I told her, like, it's going to be the simplest shit. I swear to you, it's going to be something stupid. Well, yeah, when I reset it, all these cleared, you know? So technically, whatever input I put in here, it didn't play anything because I wasn't selecting which input to play, you know? So I tried high level, I tried low level, and I tried optical. I tried Bluetooth, nothing was playing, you know? Until the next day when I woke up and I saw it, maybe sometimes it just takes that break for you to step away and then come look at it again, and then you're like, oh damn, you know. But yeah, like I got that figured out, and then, you know, I selected it however I wanted, kind of like my left, right, and set it up how I wanted, and I mean it does a good job. I mean, it sounds great, and it's pretty good, you know. So what I'll end up doing is, I know I ran long on this video, and I also have to link to them. So it's gonna be like a 30-minute video, but whatever, you know. I think it's a good purchase option for you if you're on a budget, you know. So I'm gonna link it in the description. I wanted to give you guys a preview because there's not a lot of info on this shit out there. But for me, it's like if you can find shit that works almost as good as something that's worth a lot more and gives you more value, then I had to pause that again for the phone call. But yeah, like no, I just wanted to finish this off by saying, yeah, like I'm just gonna link this in the description. If you guys feel like you want to buy it and you have some questions, you know, feel free to ask me. I want to share this to give you guys alternatives and cheaper alternatives to something that might be as good as the name brand shit. You know, just you shell out a little bit less money. But yeah, just hit me up in the comments if you guys have any questions. I'll try to answer them.